Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Good
So,
afternoon,
our
sir.
topic for this session will be a continuation of our introduction about due process last week. For now, we will be talking about the details of just causes. So, again, we're still in HR 6306, labor relations. So, this will be our objectives for this session. At the end, you are supposed to be able to understand the legal basis of just causes. You will be able to define the concept and coverage of just causes as a basis for termination. Enumerate examples of just causes and understand the standards for the different just causes. Remember, due process, we have two kinds: just causes and authorized causes. So, what is the legal basis? The legal basis is again still Presidential Decree 442, otherwise known as the Labor Code, and for some topics, the Supreme Court decisions. Now, what is the concept about just causes? When we say just causes are grounds for termination of employment. Do you remember that we say that the state guarantees the security of tenure of the employee? However, there are just causes which could be grounds for termination of employment. It is called just causes because the termination of employment is justified due to an employee's actions, behavior, or omission, either of which resulted in a serious or grave violation of the law, employment contract, company policies, collective bargaining agreement, and any other employment agreement. So kaya nga just cause, justifiable ang inyong termination dahil kasalanan ng empleyado. Maybe through action, sa behavior, omission. Ang omission ay hindi mo nagawa. So, neglect of duty na naka-result ngayon sa hindi lang basta-bastang violation, but kung hindi serious or grave violation. For example, yung inyong action, nalugi ang kumpanya ng malaking amount. So, just cause na yon. Okay? In these situations and the exercise of its management prerogative, the employer is justified in imposing the penalty of dismissal on the erring employee. So wag tayong paka-guarantee na forever ang ating trabaho, although the state guarantees security of tenure. If we will violate any contract, employment contract, company policies, we can be subjected to dismissal. Ano ba ang coverage ng just cause? Just causes cover all employees regardless of rank or status. Magmula sa pinakamababa sa rank and file, sa staff, sa mga clerks, pati mga supervisors, sa mga managers, sa mga director, regardless, as long as ikaw ay empleyado, hindi ka employer, you are covered with just causes. Walang pinipili ang batas. So, lahat pwedeng ma-dismiss for just cause. Whether rank and file, supervisory, managerial in rank, an employee is covered by just causes. Sabi lang dito, regardless kung ikaw ay regular, probationary, casual, project-based, seasonal, or fixed term, an employee is covered by just cause. So kahit ka ng ang regular, kasi pag di ba na pag nag-apply tayo, there is a probationary period of 6 months. Beyond the 6 months, you will become regular employee. Yan, kahit na regular ka, you can be terminated for just cause. Casual employee, Hindi ito permanent position, casual. Project-based. On a project, let's say, engineering project, architecture project, events management project, kung ano mang project yan, pwede kang ma-terminate for just cause. Seasonal, alam natin to, kapag Pasko, maraming hinahire ng mga employees na casual employee. Tawag niyan seasonal. Kasi pag, ano lang, pag season lang or fixed term. Yan ang coverage. Now, let us begin with the just causes. The Labor Code provides for the following just causes. Ito, inisa-isa na. Number 1, serious misconduct. So, serious misconduct. Number 2, willful disobedience of a lawful order. Sumusuway ka sa pinag-uutos sa'yo na may basihan na regarding naman yan sa trabaho. Gross and habitual neglect of duty. Hindi lang basta-basta neglect, ha? Habitual, paulit-ulit. Gross, malakasan na ito, hindi lang basta-basta. Fraud, yan. Ang fraud, ano ba sa Tagalog itong fraud? Panloloko sa kumpanya. Willful breach of trust. Yung trust and confidence na pinagkatiwala sa iyo ng may-ari. Sinabi mo sa competitor nyo, ganito lang ang aming kita. Ito lang ang aming items, inventory, ganito, ang pangit ng pamamalakad, sinisiraan mo kumpanya. Well, breach of trust. Pwede kang sipain ng kumpanya. Commission of a crime against the person of the employer or any immediate member of his family or his duly authorized representatives. Ayan. So normally kapag maliit yan na korporasyon, ang may-ari niyan, pamilya. So yung president yung tatay, vice president yung anak, ang treasurer yung nanay. Ayan. So any commission of a crimes against the person of the employer or immediate member of his family or his duly authorized representatives. Sino mga duly authorized representatives? Ito yung mga director, yung mga manager nyo, sila yung nagre-represent sa top management sa owners. Yan. So, hihimay-himayin natin for this session. Ano-ano ba ito? Hindi pa pala tapos. And also, analogous causes. Ano ba yung analogous? Refers to similar. May analogy, di ba? Analogous. So similar serious and grave violations or offenses are those listed in numbers 1 to 6 that would justify the dismissal of an employee. So hindi lang yun doon sa na-identify na 6. As long as similar siya, it is grave and serious in nature. Ayan. Example of analogous causes may be found in Supreme Court decisions or jurisprudence such as insubordination, loss of trust and confidence, kung may attitude problem, palaaway ka, hindi ka mapakisamahan, ayan. Excessive tardiness or absences, ayan. Sinasamantala mo yung sick leave, vacation leave, etc. Discourteous or impolite remarks against a superior. So, impolite, disrespectful, walang courtesy, kaya nga discourteous, walang galang. Yan. There are standards for just causes. Hindi naman basta-basta, ikaw, you are accused of serious misconduct. Anong basihan nun? The standards have been set or prescribed for each just cause through Supreme Court decisions and Department of Labor and Employment regulations, such as Dole Department Order number 147 series of 2015. Okay. Ano sinasabi dito? The standards for serious misconduct, there must be a misconduct. Dapat meron pagkakamali. Di ba? The misconduct must be of such grave and aggravated character. So hindi lang siya basta-basta misconduct, pero malala. Sobra-sobrang misconduct naman yon. It must relate to the performance of the employee's duties. Ayan. Ibig sabihin, yung misconduct mo, nakakaapekto sa performance ng duties mo. And there must be showing that the employee becomes unfit to continue working for the employer. Ito yung tinatawag na 4 requisites of a case against serious misconduct. There must be misconduct. Dapat papatunayan na nagkaroon nga ng misconduct. Hindi yung basta-basta istorya lang. Chismis lang. Number 2, kailangan grabe at aggravated character. Tapos, related dapat siya sa performance of the employee's duties at it shows that the employee becomes unfit. Hindi na siya pwede na mag-continue working for the employer. So, just cause on serious misconduct. Malinaw ba? Willful disobedience. Ito yung pagsuway, harap-harapan. The standards are there must be disobedience or insubordination. For example, inutusan ka, bumili ka nga ng mineral water natin para pag-replace doon sa ating water dispenser. Is that? At hindi ka sumunod. Yung ba ay disobedience or insubordination? Kailangan ang disobedience or insubordination ay related sa trabaho. Hindi pwede yung utusan ka na lang gagawin kang personal assistant. The disobedience or insubordination must be willful or intentional, characterized by a wrongful and perverse attitude. So baka naman hindi siya nakasunod, nakalimutan niya, marami siyang ginagawa, or for whatever reason. Kailangan, the insubordination or the disobedience must be willful. Sinasadya. May intensyon na hindi sumunod. Kumbaga, bahala ka sa buhay mo. Ayan. The order violated must be reasonable, lawful, and made known to the employee. Kailangan reasonable. So, kayang gawin. Lawful, hindi to contrary to law, rules, and regulation. At dapat, alam din to ng employee, hindi yung, inutusan ko na si ganito. Hindi naman niya alam. Dapat malinaw. Approach the employee, sabihin mo kung ano yung gusto mong ipagawa, kung pwedeng written instructions, para alam niya kung ano yung gagawin niya. Nang sa ganon, in spite of the fact na alam niya na meron ka ng written instructions, hindi pa rin siya sumunod, pwede na yung willful or intentional disobedience. And the order must pertain to the duties which he has been engaged to discharge. Kasi sabi ko, dapat related to sa duties and responsibilities, functions, at tasks based on the job description. Diba? Hindi mo naman siya pwedeng gawa ka ng income statement. Hindi naman siya accounting graduate. Wala naman siya sa accounting department. So, hindi pwede yun. Hindi considered as willful disobedience. Okay, that's number 2. Number 3, gross and habitual neglect of duty. Unang-una, there must be a neglect of duty. May nakalimutan. May hindi ginawa. And the negligence must be both gross and habitual in character. Ayan. Kasi nga sabi dito, just cause, gross and habitual neglect. So dapat gross, malala, habitual, paulit-ulit. Yan. So una, pwede ka magkamali, ay sir, nakalimutan kong gumawa ng report. Kalawa, sir, nakalimutan ko naman gumawa ng stock, ng inventory report. Number 3, sir, nakalimutan ko naman i-post sa ganito, sa ledger, blah, blah, blah. Ay, hindi na po pwede yun. Yun lang mismong remember, yung inyong time in, tsaka pag time out. Ay, nakalimutan ko pong mag-time in, tsaka mag-time out. Hindi po pwede yun. Yun ang basehan kung paano tayo pinasosweldo. Kaya, it will fall on habitual tardiness and absenteeism. Kasi duty natin na umattend sa trabaho, be on time. Okay? Malinaw yun. Number 4, fraud. Pangloko, panglalamang, panggugulang. there must be an act, omission, or concealment. Okay. Ito medyo mga legal parlance na to, di ba? An act. So, ginawa mo yung fraud. Okay. Ano yung omission? Hindi mo nga ginawa dahil sa hindi mo paggawa, nagkaroon tuloy ng fraud or itinago mo yung fraud. Kinonceal mo. Kunyari, nakita mo na parang mali itong report pa. Binago mo. Di ba? Pinaganda mo. Kinonceal mo yung tamang information. May panluloko na lang. The act, omission, or concealment involves a breach of legal duty, trust, or confidence justly reposed. Ayan. So, pinagkatiwalaan ka ng mga data, information, dapat pangalagaan mo yun. Hindi mo pwedeng gamitin yon laban sa kumpanya. It must be committed against the employer or his representative. Kilala natin kung sino yung employer, ha? Kilala na rin natin kung sino yung representative. And it must be in connection with the employee's work. Kunyari, ikaw yung accountant. Ikaw naghahawak ng libro. May fraud ba dyan? Meron. Hindi mo binubook accordingly yung accounting transactions. For example, nasa purchasing ka, meron bang fraud dyan? May fraud ba dyan? Meron. Kunyari, nakikipag-conspire ka doon sa supplier. Oh, ganitong gawin mong price, ha? Pero bigyan mo ako ng komisyon. Ayan. So there is already an act of fraud. So kaya sa mga government biddings, alam niyo ba yung government biddings? Hindi sila basta-basta kasi nagpa-purchase o nagpa-procure without biddings. Kailangan may mga iba-ibang supplier na mag-bid. Ayan. So dyan nagkakaroon na naman ng mga fraud. Okay? So there is standards for fraud. Loss of trust and confidence. Ito yung kapag manager ka na, top management ang position mo, ito yung kadalasan kinakaso sa isang manager. Loss of trust and confidence. Kasi sasabihin sa'yo, being manager, being vice president, you are entrusted with the utmost, trust and confidence. May kumpiyansa sa iyo ang kumpanya. Pinagkakatiwalaan ka. Kaya mahirap patunayan din yun. Wala na akong tiwala. Paano yun? Wala nang tiwala sa iyong employer. There must be an act, omission, or concealment na naman. The act, omission, or concealment justifies the loss of trust and confidence of the employer to the employee. The employee concerned must be holding a position of trust and confidence. Kasi sinasabi ko, ito lang yung mga pang-manager top position. Kunyari, ikaw ay controller, ikaw yung accountant, ikaw yung finance manager, ikaw nakakaalam ng budgeting and controlling. Ikaw yung sales manager, ikaw nakakaalam ng target sales, kung nakaka-hit ba kayo ng target. Alam mo, madaling sa sales, madali kang matsugi. Simple lang. Pag hindi ka nag-hit ng target, wala na yun. Pero hindi naman siya loss of trust and confidence. Incompetence naman yun. Okay? The loss of trust and confidence should not be simulated. Hindi ito katang-isip, hindi ito haka-haka. Ito ay talaga nangyari. Merong basihan. It should not be used as a subterfuge for causes which are improper, illegal, or unjustified. Ayan. I-google nyo na lang, ha. Hindi ko to na-google yung subterfuge. For causes which are improper, illegal, or unjustified. And it must be genuine and not a mere afterthought to justify an earlier action taken in bad faith. Ayan. Ito dapat ay makatotohanan. Hindi lang ito, ikaw may ginawa kang kasalanan sa akin. Teka lang, humanda ka. Gagantihan kita. I will accuse you for something, loss of trust and confidence, para ikaw ay ma-dismiss. Dapat yung action ay not taken in bad faith. Yan, continue lang. commission of a crime. The standards are, there must be an act or omission punishable, prohibited by law. Kasi nga, crime. So, meron tayong sariling batas about crime, penology. Yan. So, any crime punishable, prohibited by law, ayun, hindi pwede. And the act or omission was committed by the employee against the person of his employer, any immediate member of his family or his duly authorized representative. Kunyari, stress ka na sa trabaho mo. Banas ka na doon sa supervisor mo. Pwede mo ba siyang tutukan ng kutsilyo? Tutukan mo ng scissor? Tutukan mo ng kahit ng ballpen? Deadly weapon yun eh. And crime yun kasi pwede yung may intent to murder. Kapag tinutok mo yon, aba, attempt na yon. Kapag inunday mo yun at hindi ka tumama, frustrated murder na yon, di ba? Yan. So, kailangan law-abiding citizen tayo. Analogous causes. Yan. There must be an act or omission similar to those specified just causes. So, parang pareho ng 1 to 6. And the act or omission must be voluntary and or willful on the part of the employees. So Department Order number 147 requires that the analogous cause should be expressly specified in the company rules and regulations or policies to be valid. So dapat daw yan nandun sa HR manual o tinatawag na employees handbook. Kailangan very specific kung ano ang violation, kung ano ang penalty. Kasi may mga level yan, depende sa gravity of the violation. First, may verbal warning. Second, written warning. Third, pwedeng may 3-day suspension. Next, 5-day suspension. Next, 30-day suspension. Or kung talagang grabe, ay dismissal na yan. Okay? So let us summarize. Presidential Decree 442 as amended is the basis for due process. So hindi ko lang to haka-haka, hindi lang to katanging isip ko lang, may pinagbasihan tayo ng ating pinag-usapan ngayon, which is Presidential Decree 442. So just causes are grounds for termination of employment. O siguro, pag graduate nyo, you will apply for employment. At least ngayon pa lang, alam na natin yung mga dapat nating iwasan. So maintindihan natin na ito pala ay just cause for termination. So the employer is justified dismissing an employee for just cause. So naayon daw sa batas, yung kanilang gagawin na pag-dismiss kapag terminate sa employee kung ang reason ay just cause. Just causes cover all employees regardless of rank or status. Sabi natin, mapaman to rank and file, sa pinakamababa hanggang doon sa pinakamataas na Vice President, regular ka man, probationary ka man, casual employee, project-based, seasonal. So lahat yan covered ng just cause. So bukod na sa 6 na specifically stipulated ng batas, there are analogous causes to just causes found in Supreme Court decisions or jurisprudence. And there are standards for each just cause set or prescribed by Supreme Court decisions or jurisprudence. So kung tayo naman na magiging employer, so alam din natin dapat yung mga requisites for our charges. Kung meron tayong gustong i-terminate, dapat sumunod tayo dun sa pinag-uutos ng batas. Tawag doon standards. So if there is no just cause in the termination of employment, the employer may be held liable for illegal dismissal. Kapag wala dun sa mga standards na yon at ikaw ay na-terminate, pwede kang humabol, magdemanda for illegal dismissal. Ayan. And the employer may be held liable for you. So ano ba naman ko kapag nagdemanda ka? So number one, pwede kang maipabalik. Number two, bigyan ka ng back wages. Yung ilang buwan, ilang taon nasa korte ang kaso, yon babayaran nila yan. Okay, I believe that ends our discussion. So I hope naintindihan ng lahat.